like that. She got the same smile. How are you today? I'm smiling. You my first my ride after a nap.
Oh.
I went over and got chicken and waffles. Have you tried Buddy's?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, that shit like crack. I keep coming back for the red velvet waffles.
Ooh, that
and
sounds
then,
good.
man, it's something how he make the chicken all crunchy and shit. And shit, man, in reflection, I'm like, yeah, I love this shit. I keep coming back. It's like $20 for a reflective nap. And you'll be like, nigga, I woke up good than this. But shit, yeah, fuck. Everything's good today. You got complimentary water on your door. If you need anything adjusted, just let me know. You got any preference for audio?
No, anything's fine.
Alright, I'll be rock, paper, scissors in that shit, and I just beat you. But you could always say, bitch, I win, and I'll be like, alright, now you win. But I end up listening to basically whatever I'm listening to at the time, because sometimes I'll be listening to rap music, and I'll be fucking with all the white people. I'll be like, sing along if you know the words, and then I'll just play some Zero or some shit. So it's just always a reflection, whatever works for different audiences or whatever. But in a sense, when I was reflecting that finishing a book a day each week or some shit in a reflective, like how that evolved me, I just kept doing it. And then I was choosing not to have people fuck up my progress. So I would end up edifying it, aka introducing it. Be like, hey, I'm doing this for this and this. And then as that built up, I was 2,600 rides in, and I was reflecting like, are you a hoe if you only got 23 subscribers and you did 2,600 rides? I was like, yeah, you a hoe. Because unfortunately, you got to talk to yourself about different shit. And sometimes you use different vernaculars depending on what the fuck you trying to do with the whole situation of reflection. So basically, I was just trying to get up and move more. Now I got almost 400 subscribers in less than about a year and a half by talking to people and building and whatever. And for my, in a sense, future aspirational kind of bullshit through the day type situation is that I'm creating a series called Needa Lyft, Cousin Conversations. In a sense, because all my family down in Texas, and they was like, if you don't use it, then you lose it. So I'm just trying to act like I got family around, or I lose everybody, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, or when you finally get to your family, you'll be able to connect in a greater sense or whatever. So for certain reflections, yeah, I just keep talking and talking and talking. But since we got an 11-minute trip, you're just in time for me to keep talking or stop talking in 1 minute. So usually this episode is about 22 minutes. When you adjust the playback speed, it makes it a little bit faster or whatever. So when I end up realizing how much I was gaining off of the realization that when you listen to information more hours than you work your 3 jobs, you'll gain more. So when I was working different jobs, like on the weekend, then 2 during the day or whatever, but in a sense, when I'm working 12 hours a day, when I listen to 12 hours of information at 2 times the speed, then I'm gaining 24 hours of information every day while working 12 hours. Then all of what I can do with that and reflect and try to progress into the next behoovement, then, you know, all that stuff kind of build up to all of these words that a Negro don't know. Because when I came across that, I didn't know it. Then as I asked people, do you know the definition of behoovement? What would you say? Do you know?
No.
Well, shit, for real though? Girl, you, oh Lord, you fucking up. Alright, I'm just talking shit, but you fucking up, because you got a nice smile, your teeth all even, but you don't even know the definition of behoovement. Shit, I swear to God, girl, come across a book. I came across a seminar called How to Have the Best Life Ever and How to Have the Best Year Ever from a guy named Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, and that was on YouTube or whatever. When I listened to that, he ended up recommending us a book called The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clayson. When I came across that book, when I was just listening to that 3 times a day for over 45 days, getting paid weekly at 2 times the speed, I started to realize in retrospect or hindsight or all that extra shit, I was like, damn, it's easy. Now I got $300 a week, and now I got money. How much? I was like, in a sense, how much was I saving? You know, what all these different things that I end up going through, I was like, damn, I made it. So when you reflect, you know, certain things we aim to do. But in a sense, you ain't never aimed to talk to a black guy. Like, you know. And so when shit happened, you get to reflect on what's actually happened. So when you attain things through words that you never expect, that's how it's actually happened compared to how you aspirationally trying to get it. Because, you know, blah, blah, blah. But just in different ways, you know, it's just all talking. All I did was just program myself to listen to information while I was working. In the most reflective collection of information, in a sense, while niggas working. And AKA, you look like you got some black in you, but I'm just acting. But in a sense of it, is rap music. That's the quickest adjustment of playback speed that we collect on a daily basis. So when I changed that to being books are now my music. All books are movies. They set the scene and the characters start talking. For a future aspiration of coming across a living book, AKA a Bible, or AKA Jesus, this nigga is now Jesus. I ain't never fucking know how it was gonna be. I ain't even know how I would say this shit or just act like, but AKA perform the actions to get you where you need to be. Attempt to put together the shit in your mind so you can evolve or something. Or at least put it in your mind. Because even when I was coming across all of this shit that I was hearing from Adam Crowley or, you know, and all that masonry shit, or just in different ways, niggas ain't supposed to know this shit. Yeah, what the fuck you collecting it for? So I started like, even if this shit is bullshit, at least I, you know, can form an opinion on it. A lot of stuff wasn't bullshit, it was just information that you wouldn't expect to come from a nigga with this attached to his name or some shit. But it was so mundane and calm, I was like, this the nigga that I was scared of? And it was just so fucking weird. But as you progress from the words, in a sense right now, you're not listening to me. You're hearing me. In the future, when you can use what you hear to get what you want, AKA, just like the girl off of the Players Club, I'm just trying to use what I got to get what I want. Bitch, but she ain't got no mind to get the fuck out the club and go get it. Or something. But either way, a pimp don't get paid for fucking. So now, as I started talking more and saying all this bullshit, I started to get paid. And then for some odd reason, people start laughing at shit. So I was like, shit, am I not a comedian? But as I still start working on all the bullshit, yeah, that's what I aspired to be, that's what I am, and blah, blah, blah. But this guy is 46, 10 years older than me. I just act like or in a sense, I just act like this nigga my cousin. And I'd be so bored of working. It came across first as Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, then OG Percy, and then this Negro talking for hours for it so it could be something that you could play in the background, and in a sense for your mind not to go to sleep. You know, your eyes and your body and all that shit, but just somehow, I don't know, I fall asleep less doing this shit. And now when I start to share what I do and what I come across in my daily habits, I started to get paid more because seemingly people appreciated the template or something to follow. And I keep telling people, I don't speak to you for you, I speak to you for me. I don't speak to you for you, I speak to you for the next people sitting in the seat. I really don't care what you do with the information. I just care if I give myself a chance to hear the information. And apparently, that works better than silence. So I'm gonna try to shut the fuck up. I said all this shit last time to a black lady. She was like, oh, so now you gonna let me speak. I was like, all right, girl, yeah. I knew I was supposed to shut the hell up, but hey, that's how I go. But shit, do you have any favorite authors, anything?
No, not right now.
Alright, well, you might be able to level up in your life, because all I did is just came across a lot of different stories that I started to see parallels in because of the repetitious type of nature that I have instinctively. So when I came across Iceberg Slim, Pimp Story of My Life, I listened 4 times in a row before I went to the next book. When I came across Who Moved My Cheese by, I believe, Stuart something, but Who Moved My Cheese, that's only an hour-long book. I listened to that 5 times in a row before I went to the next one. Shit. All these other different books. Whoreson by Donald Goines. Urban Fiction African American. If you type that in a search bar on Audible, they'll have 292 titles that's included in the membership. So collecting 30 books in the first month, I said uniquely to myself. And then I started to say the others, and I ain't even changed the words. And I was so surprised that they didn't slap me for it. But I was like, how the fuck you gonna be a nigga in America with no nigga stories? I was like, shit, it just don't work. Because soon as I had some nigga stories, and it ain't even start with Urban Fiction African American, all the books on Audible. It started all these other shits, but then I started to reflect that now I got more, and I can just see that why the fuck would you want a nigga story? This shit is dangerous out there, motherfucker. Like people getting killed. It was all drugs, sex, and rock and roll with no concert. And I was like, what the fuck? So in a sense, with no condom, I was like, God damn, this shit wrong. And in a sense, this is the future of all that shit talking in some type of fucking continuous way. Because I started recording since December for my series Needa Lyft Cousin Conversations. I already got over 800 recordings that I got to go through and figure out at least 365 so I can release one a day to build and build. So going from 23 to less than 400 and now seeing everything, I just keep talking and fucking hopefully people appreciate. But I really don't care. Because in a lot of that shit, in a sense, I ignored it until I needed it. So when I reflected on what I didn't have in the moment, I was like, what do I have? And in a sense, I had that first seminar, how to have the best life ever and how to have the best year ever. When I went back to that seminar 4 years later, that started me seeing that he recommended The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clayson. When I listened to that book, I was in a shitty situation, and I listened to it 3 times a day for over 45 days, and blah, blah, blah. So it's all what it does to you in your own continuation, because people going to be throwing out recommendations no matter what. But you ain't got time for all that shit, you know? You got time for what you want to have time for. But when you realize you fucked up, aka I could have done this, shit, just keep going. That's the only option you got. You ain't got an option to kill yourself. AKA, don't be no hoe. So, you know, when I bossed up and stopped being a hoe, now, instead of having 3 jobs, I got 3 businesses. And then I'm razzing up all of that all at the same time. I'm going to distill it through my YouTube and through other sources in a sense. But I got keys to a barbershop. Got a cookie recipe I intend to turn into a company. And, goddamn, the cell phone shop over at the B&I right next to the dollar store up in there. He has been maintaining that. What the hell? Oh, look at that. That's funny. Oh, this nigga. Hold on. Let me see how much did I get myself. Let me drop you off a half mile and be shit out of luck by myself. Shit, you seen that? You was about to
turn off?
Yeah, it was telling me I need to get some gas.
Oh.
So let me hurry up and drop you off. And then I'll just be, can I have $1? Shit. Man. But I'm glad I got to experience this moment of almost running out of gas. But yeah, with having all of that stuff and helping out everybody else, yeah, the job of my life is to be a millionaire, and I'm on my way to doing that. The best job of my life is to do this, just talk to people. But now I need a little bit more consistency, so I'm going to sign up with the TSA in just a few days, pass my piss test. I start to ask people, yeah, the story is as it is. Would it sound better also being a federal employee? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Go be a good guy and show some consistency. I want to get me a high top van by December and January, and then just keep evolving. Everything else is in place, but it's just all the beginning. So with that, I'm glad I didn't get a chance to. G Street News Network, you know, go check it out. It's just super fucking crazy. So, shit, blah blah blah. Let's see where we at. All right, thank you for not censoring me.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate listening to you.
All right.
What was your YouTube's name?
Thrive, Don't Just. So when you put Thrive, Don't Just, it should pop up at the top, and it'll be Survive Vanlife.
It was great talking to you. I appreciate
Thank you. You take care of yourself. You got potential.
Thank you.
All right. Where the fuck is the gas station?